It's a bit dirty. Here, let's get. This is going to be an interesting start to a live stream. Sorry for the poor camera quality. We're still on the FaceTime HD Apple camera. So today we are going to be talking about Livebearers. Now, I don't know how many people are going to be in here today. I think I said 6 o'clock, so I think I'm right on. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about Livebearers. So the way this is going to go, it's going to be the classic. I'm just getting used to doing these lives. I know you guys really enjoy them. See if I can not get this a little bit better. Put a light on. Maybe this will fix it. All right. Hello to anyone who's watching this in the future. Sorry that you had to witness this first starting bit. Anyways, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Livebearers. The way this is going to go is you guys can drop any questions that you want in the chat, and I'll try and answer them. So I'm going to talk about how to, all the 7 tips today, and then after that, you guys can ask questions, and then I'll go through them after. So, hopefully today this can help some of you guys out. If you guys are into this stuff, please leave a like. It'll definitely help out the stream for some other people to come and see it. And yeah, it just helps me out heaps. So hope everyone's doing well. Hope no one's got the illness that I can't talk about. And yeah, today, hopefully none of the fish have that illness either. So yeah, I don't think they can get it. But we're going to be talking about Livebearers. So when I say Livebearers, I'm talking about guppies. I'm talking about endlers. We're talking about platies. We're talking about swordtails. We're talking about mollies. Pretty much everything. I'm not really going to talk about those really wild kinds of Livebearers because those aren't really going to have the issues that I'm going to discuss today. So we're going to be talking about all the inbred stuff that breeders have developed over the last how many years, probably 50 years of the aquarium hobby. And we're going to talk about them, and because they have a lot of issues, and I'm going to try and help you guys as much as I can to stay away from those issues because I've had so much trouble dealing with these in the past, and I've only just started to get my head around some of these remedies. So tip number 1 is going to be quarantining. So these are all pretty going to seem pretty basic to you guys, but a lot of beginners aren't going to be thinking about this stuff. So quarantining, what do I mean by that? So quarantining is the process of when you get new fish, leaving the fish in their own sort of separate environment from all of your other aquariums and making sure that they aren't going to have issues heading into the future. So quarantining is basically the process. Well, what I like to do when I quarantine is if I can help myself by putting the fish into a separate tank and then medicating, that is the way I quarantine. Some other people just put fish into a tank and then they'll leave them for, say, 6 weeks or something, and they'll check out what's happening. Now, I don't think that's personally, I can understand why people are doing that, but I personally don't do that. And because it just takes a really, really long time. We're talking about fish here that probably cost under $5 each. And really, it's just not worth leaving them for that long. So what I like to do is every time I get new fish, I medicate. Now, when I medicate, I like to medicate for internal parasites. So things like the worms that we can get all kinds of different camellianus worms. It's all really annoying stuff that I hate talking about. We can also get white spot, and we can get heaps of problems with flukes and all that kind of stuff. And these things are common, especially when fish come straight out of pet stores. So normally the process of Livebearers having problems, and fish in general, but mainly Livebearers are super easy to breed. So heaps of these suppliers, like in Australia, say, I think most of the fish come from Indonesia. Indonesia, they get shipped in, and then they're in the pet store. They're just sitting there for they're not even quarantined in the pet store normally, and they go straight to your house. And I'm just going to quickly say, can everyone hear me properly? If there's any issues with quality or anything, if people could just let me know, that'd be great, because I don't want to be just talking to myself here. So these guys will come in, and then the issues are normally going to be on your hands. So is everyone still connected? I'm just making sure because, okay, cool, sweet. The issues are normally going to be on your hands, and they're going to be your problem. So you'll take these fish home, and then the issues that they would have in the farm where they're not going to be really having too many problems are going to become a problem in your tank because the sudden change in an environment for these guys. So the way we work around this. So I've quite often see people like Aquarium Co-op, Corey does this. What they like to do is they do a big medication scheme of things. So they like to use 3. They use one that's for deworming, one for bacterial, and one for fungal. And I don't use all 3 of them. I like to medicate mainly for the worms. Those are a huge problem. And I also like to medicate for white spot and all that kind of stuff, because those are huge issues that you have with these guys. I don't really see too much fungal stuff, and the fungal stuff normally comes on other stuff. And that's just in my opinion. So I don't really medicate for that. But what I like to do, and I've just started doing this, and it's a really good method for me, is I like to medicate via the food. So the reason I do this is often if you guys can get your guppies, because guppies are normally not that fussy at all at eating. If your guppies come in and they're eating perfectly fine, what I like to do is I use some General Cure powder, and I'll also use some, I think, what's the company? Chem Focus. And what I do is I mix this up in a bowl with a little bit of water, and it medicates the food. That 3 days, I'll do it again just to make sure that those young new hatchlings aren't going to be still in my fish. Because what happens is sometimes people will medicate their fish, and then when they medicate their fish, the eggs will be laid and the medications can't actually get to the eggs. That's just not how they're designed, and I don't think there's any medications that can actually stop this. So what's going to happen is you'll medicate, the eggs will stay there, they'll hatch again, and you'll just have the same problem. So that's my first tip, is quarantining, and that's how I like to do it. That was very brief, and I hope someone learned something from that. But if you guys want, I can definitely make a more in-depth video on how to quarantine fish and how to do all that kind of stuff. There's plenty of really good videos on YouTube that taught me all this stuff. So I'm sure you guys can go and check those out. Now we're on to tip number 2. And this is feeding, obviously, a range of foods. So a lot of beginners, because Livebearers are normally the first thing you're going to get as a beginner, what's going to happen is people aren't going to understand that the common fish flake that they're given isn't just enough for these guys to have a really, really good immune system and balance of chemicals and all that kind of stuff. So, and not chemicals, vitamins and all that kind of stuff. You really, really, I can't emphasize enough how much of a difference this will make on your fish keeping if you can get your head around using all kinds of different foods and trying to create this environment for the fish that they would have in the wild. So that's my second tip. Now, when I talk about the range of foods, I talk about things like using baby brine shrimp. I like to use lots of frozen bloodworms. So lots of natural kinds of foods. I use flakes, tropical fish flakes, as a supplement. And another thing that I've just kind of gotten onto and I'm really, really enjoying is actually feeding spirulina flakes. So these are really interesting. These are like obviously the spirulina that comes in algae wafers and all that kind of stuff, but in a flake form. And I feed that 3 to 2 times a week. And that's just also, it promotes a lot of color, but that's just to get their vegetable kind of supplements into their body. And it really, really does help. So that's what I talk about when I feed a range of foods. The best thing and the thing that they absolutely love and that's so good for them is the baby brine shrimp. They absolutely kill for that stuff. It's just their favorite thing ever. So I do that once a day as well. They get a little bit of that. And these are my endless that I'm talking about, and they absolutely love it. If you guys want to see massive improvements in the amount of quality and color that your fish have, these are definitely going to be awesome things to use. Just really, really good quality foods. There's like nothing that you can do wrong with feeding a big variety of foods. So I also, another thing that I like to feed is those little stick-on things that you put on the glass. What are they called? The O-nip tabs. Those things they absolutely love. They're like crack. The fish absolutely love eating them. I love putting them on there because I can take real good photos of them. And it's really good for them too because they get a little snack during the day. You can leave them in there for a couple of hours, and while you're away, if you can't do a feed or something like that, it's so good. So the third thing, and this might get me a bit of slack. Some of you guys might not agree with me on this one. And there's different ways about doing this. So what I'm going to talk about is culling. So culling is something that a lot of breeders have to do. As part of the breeding, culling is basically taking out all the fish that you don't want with the desirable traits that are bad. So, sorry, excuse me. But culling is something that's obviously not talked about often. I don't like to cull in the way that other people do. A lot of people cull by giving their fish to like just chucking them down outside or like using them as feeders. When I cull, I like to try and sell them to someone. Now, whatever the person does with the fish, I have no clue what's going to happen. Like they could be feeding them to a bigger fish or something. But when I specifically talk about culling, I'm talking about bad backs. So this is quite common with all kinds of live bearers. You get bad backs with your fish because it's a really common issue. Bad backs will actually, they're not good for the fish. Yeah, sorry, some more of that stuff that I can't talk about in my throat. And they're not good for your fish. You don't want them breeding and contaminating your gene lines and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you guys want to keep them in there, that's completely up to you. But if you're selling, you want to try and eliminate that from the gene line. But that's just something I'm going to say. So the fourth tip is going to be something that's pretty generic. A lot of you guys probably already know this. Now, I've made a video once in the past, and it wasn't that long ago. And the video was 7 tips for keeping guppies. And I made a really big mistake in that one. And I said this back to front. But this is going to be the tip. You want to keep, for every one male, I keep 3 females. And that's when I first buy them. Now, the reason for this is obviously in the video I said to keep 1 female for 3 males or whatever. Maybe you guys had seen that already. But the reason for this is because basically males are, like we're talking about live bearers here, these guys always want to pop out babies and, they're always really, really busy. So the males are quite busy and they'll be following the females around all day and they'll be stressing them out. And the best way to get around them getting too stressed and having a bit of time off is to have quite a few females in there for him to pursue. So having a couple of females extra will defer his attention towards one single one, and it'll make it a lot easier for your females to not get stressed out. And the other thing that a lot of people don't like, well, I didn't really think about to begin with, is you also get more fry. So if you're breeding these guys, you'll get 3 extra females giving birth instead of just having 1 per 1 male. Now, and you also get a bit more control over the features that you have. So if you have like, say, an orange male and then you have like blue and a yellow, you're probably going to get like a whole different kind of mix of fry. If you have 1 orange fish breeding with all the 3 males, you're probably going to 3 females, you're probably going to get a bunch of orange. Well, you're more likely to get those kinds of fry. So that's one little piece of advice. Maybe that helped you out. Maybe you didn't know that. Hope that one helped you out. We're on to the 5th one. And this is actually going to be like one of the things that if I had to make a Bible on keeping live bearers, this is a huge one for me. And this is adding new fish to your gene, like into your tank often. So how often? I say every 6 months. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Here we go. Got a lot of people commenting stuff. I have to go through it after. But the one thing you want to do is add fish. And because these guys are going to be in there, they're going to be breeding with each other. The siblings are going to grow up. They're going to breed with each other. It's going to turn into a massive mess. The way we can make this less of a like this Iron Man kind of fish, that's going to be a lot better for people in the hobby. It's going to be better for you. In general, it's just better because they're going to last a bit longer. So I say add kind of, my connection's unstable, of course. Here we go. We're back. So I say every 6 months to add a new fish. So I'd add like a male, or maybe like I'd add a male instead of a female, because the males normally have a bit more color and you can have a bit more control over what you want in your bloodline. But I say add a new male every now and then. And this is just so that, yeah, obviously you're going to mix up those bloodlines. It's going to be really helpful for your breeding projects if their bloodlines are all mixed up. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's like using it's a really hard thing to talk about, because it's hard to it's easy to wrap your head around, but it's hard to put it in that like a thing on it. But it's just really important to make sure that you're not having guppies just constantly breeding with the same guppies. You'll end up with bad backs. You'll end up with a whole bunch of different kinds of problems. And I mean, live bearers, not just guppies. But so that was my 5th tip. That's a really huge one. If I was going to take anything away from this live stream, this would definitely be the big tip, because this is just going to make a huge difference on the quality of fish that you have in your tank. So tip number 6, another thing people might not agree with here, but I always deworm my fish every 6 months. So I don't know how it happens. Maybe it's just my climate. I live in a subtropical climate in Brisbane, and it's pretty temperate here, so we can have quite a lot of nice little bacteria and infections happening in our fish tanks. But I like to deworm every 6 months. So this stuff gets in there. I don't know how it gets in there. I'm not feeding anything bad. I'm not mixing in any tank water and all that kind of stuff. Every now and then it just pops back up and I've got to deal with it. So the way I deal with it is before it happens, I always just deworm. So I like to use the Blue Planet, just the tapeworm tablet, and that stuff works real nice. I like to do it in smaller tanks. I've got those big 4-foot tanks and they're pretty annoying to dose because you have to dose so much. So if I'm going to dose like over time, it's just going to slowly eradicate it. It's going to make it a lot easier. So I hope that one helped you boys out and girls, not just the boys. And we're on to tip number 7, which is my last tip. And this is to crush up the foods. So I see lots of people, like especially really, really new amateur aquarium keepers, not feeding the right size food to their fish. So when you think about it, Livebearers are very small fish generally, and they have small mouths. And if you open up one of those flake foods and you have a look inside, those flakes are normally quite a lot bigger than a lot of the other like things that they could fit in their mouth. So what you'll see normally is they'll take one of these big flakes and they will be they'll attach to it and then they'll be like chewing it up and spitting it back out. And what they're doing when they're doing that is they're trying to get like a smaller piece of food so that they can eat it. So tip number 7 is pretty obvious. It's just to crush up the foods and make it a bit smaller. This also means that the fry in your tank are going to get a better feed. And especially like sick fish and stuff aren't going to be bothered to go and like chew up the food and spit it back out. It's just not how it works normally for me. So what I like to do is always, sometimes when I get like a new thing of flakes and stuff like that, I like to really give it a good shake. And I shake it up for like 10 minutes. I'm just sitting there and I make sure that they're all really, really small little pieces, and then I feed it. So it's a pretty obvious tip. It's just to make sure that all the fish are going to get a bite as well. And I hope that helps someone out. Like I always try and make these lists as non-generic as possible so that you guys can have like not just like the boring kinds of videos, which I've already got out. So I've got a little bonus tip, and this is going to seem pretty obvious for you very good keepers of fish, but it's just to feed more than once a day. A lot of people, I think, feed like twice a day. And I'll admit, like when I first started, it was once a day, especially because I had school and all that kind of stuff. But I recommend feeding 3 times a day. If you can feed like 4 times a day, I definitely do that. But when I say to feed multiple times a day, definitely please don't feed huge amounts. Like feed very small amounts. Try and feed often, but not big, large amounts. And it's better for your fish because it gives them time to run. Like if you feed them once, they're going to digest it all, and they can probably go hungry for a good like 8 hours there. So I don't know what the general time frame is for the Livebearers to digest their foods, but feeding a couple times a day is going to keep them full. It's going to keep them growing quick, and it's also going to keep them healthy if they're trying to recover from any sicknesses that you could have had from those importers bringing them in and all that kind of stuff. So that's a little bonus tip. It was kind of like an 8-tip video. We're at 20 minutes here, so I was only planning to go for an hour. So that's pretty much all I can say. I try and keep it really simple, obviously, on this channel. And I hope you guys have learned something. I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions. I'm going to go like back to the start, and I'm going to work down. If you guys want to ask any questions about Livebearers or just me or anything like that, I'm happy to answer them. And yeah, I'll have a look. We're lucky today. We've got a fancy glass. It's not wine. It's just water. We're not at that point yet on the channel. So what do we got here? Can the babies die inside the fish while giving birth? I'm not entirely certain. I can see how it'd be possible. I think like it's possible with all kinds of species. I've seen, sometimes they give birth to duds and all that kind of stuff, especially when they're like first time parents, like first time the female's giving birth. Sometimes we have problems. We normally have definitely a smaller amount of fry being given out as well. Like the average is a lot smaller when the fish is younger than when the big old OG females are giving birth. Like all those old females in my tank, the huge ones give birth to like an incredibly large amount of fry, and they get so big and fat. It's not even funny. So I can see how it's definitely like possible. They definitely can die while giving birth. Like that's completely normal. I don't know the way to prevent that. That could be a result of just inbreeding for so long. And yeah, What's the best net to use to catch fry to quarantine? Just a normal net. I just use like a net to size. What else? Any tips for wasting disease and how to avoid it? Yeah, so I think you're talking about the one where they get the white stringy poop, if I'm right, Caleb. That's the common one that we get just in my area. Yeah, I definitely would just recommend to use any of those anti-worming medications. Those are like the best things that you guys can do to make sure that they're not going to get this problem. So normally what that is, it's an internal parasite that's eating at the insides, and it's also eating all the food that they're eating. So that's what makes them skinny. That's what makes them waste away, and it can also give them other problems. So yeah, definitely give them some of that anti-worming stuff. If you can get your hands on it, it's really hard to find here in Australia, and I'd love to at some point start importing this stuff and giving it to you guys. It's to use the CChem focus stuff and use that with some general cure, and that stuff has just been so good for me. It's helped me so much. So it took me quite a while to get it in. I had to buy it from like the US and ship it in, and it was quite expensive. So hopefully at some point someone starts selling that stuff here, because I think it's just definitely the future of medicating fish is to feed it to them, because normally it's really hard to get fish to absorb the stuff, and it can also get pretty expensive if you've got to medicate a whole tank. So if you can get it straight into their bodies, it's so effective. So my tip is, if you're in Australia, use some of that. The Blue Planet stuff's good. That's just the stuff that I use and can get my hands on. But anything, I think it's Prosequantel is the anti-worm stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like not 100% sure, because I'm not great with the names of those chemicals, but I think it's Prosequantel is the normal one. So yeah. And I don't have the C word virus. No, I don't have that. Thank God. What else? What is my dream fish? Yeah. My dream fish at the moment, I don't know. I'm really looking at the betters, obviously. I've been something I've got my eyes on it lately. Not really into the Livebearers. Like, they're not on my radar at the moment, because I've been keeping them since I started. I don't think I've had a day since 8 years ago where I haven't had a Livebearer in my presence. So maybe them. And I'd love to do some maybe like different kinds of rainbows. I'm doing the dwarf neon praecox breeding at the moment, but maybe some Bosemani would be cool. They look really sick, and I love them. Would I get glowfish? No. No. If I got glowfish, I think I'd lose like a lot of you guys watching my videos. I don't really have a problem with them. I think they're just to taste. I don't really know much about glowfish because they look so different. But yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen on this channel. How do you quarantine fish? Oh yeah, okay. So I explained that at the start. Basically, what I do is I just, if I can, I'll put them in a separate tank and I'll medicate. But if I can't, when I get them in, I'll just straight away I'll give them all the medications that I've talked about. So especially that anti-worming one is a really big one, and then also anything for white spot and stuff like that is really good. I don't really worry about too much of the fungal stuff. I don't find my fish really get that. And normally my water quality is pretty good, so I don't have to worry about it too much. So that's how I quarantine them. And yeah, with cichlids. All you guys seem from like, I think, get me if I'm wrong, I think you're all from WA, but I'm not too sure. But anyways, what else we got? I've also got a bearded dragon. It's an Aussie animal. His name's Iggy. I don't know if he's gonna behave well on this channel. I'm not going to get massive into the reptile stuff, but yeah, I've got this guy and I've got a couple dogs and all that kind of stuff. It's really warm right now. So yeah, those are the other animals I've got. I've got some dogs, and the dogs. Sometimes I've got that little white one. She runs around the back in the aquarium. She gets really excited when I'm doing the cleaning the tanks and all that kind of stuff and doing the videos. Here we go. We're going to get, I'll put him back. There we go. What else we got? Yeah, so I've got them. Do you like Livebearers or fish that lay eggs better? I think I see. I can't really comment on that because the thing is the live bearers are the reason I like them so much is they're pretty much dummy proof fish that anyone can keep. So it's really good for beginners. It's really good for getting people into the hobby and all that kind of stuff. It's really helpful for pretty much a lot of people. And I like them. I mean, I enjoy them. Sometimes you can breed them for profit and all that kind of stuff. There's really, really cool types of fish that you can get. And like live bears and all that kind of stuff. So I like them for that part, like that factor. The things I don't like about them is you can't really control when you breed them. So you just get like a lot of them normally just by accident. And it can get annoying and it can get overwhelming, especially if you can't find people that are going to take them in your area. So that's like one reason I don't like them. But what else we got? So like, yeah, and I like but I like egg layers for the fact that you guys can just breed them pretty much whenever you want. So whenever I want to like take out some Danios and breed them, or if I want to take out some of my or if I want to breed the rainbow fish, I just chuck like a spawning mop in there where I just take them, scoop out the Danios and breed them straight away. And I can have complete control over how many fry I want to keep or can handle, and it makes it a lot easier. And also like with the angelfish, because I normally breed them, I don't use a separate aquarium to get the eggs off the females because I don't have enough aquarium space to be dealing with 300 fish every 2 weeks. So I really like the fact that every now and then they'll lay on like a leaf or something and I can just chop out the leaf and take it out. So for that reason, I like to take like egg layers. There's also different kinds of egg layers that I probably wouldn't recommend. And like obviously the convict cichlids breed like nuts. So things like them I'm not fans of because they just breed like crazy and it's just like you get way too many of them. You can't sell them to anyone. And yeah, you just like it can cause big problems. But I definitely just enjoy keeping the like the really simple like egg scatterers. And so yeah, like I can't really shell dwellers. Actually, at some point I probably will. They're not crazy popular in Brisbane, so I think I haven't seen many people keeping them. I don't know if like in Australia we have obviously heaps of weird laws with the kinds of fish that we can keep. So I don't know if I think you can. Like I'm pretty sure. I've never really looked into it because they're just not like haven't been on my radar. But like I really do like the appeal of them. I know that Primetime Aquatics keeps a lot of them over in the US, and I've like looked at them. They look sick. So yeah, I definitely want to. I'm pretty much like that's the thing I'm trying to do with the hobby is I'm trying to not burn out. I'm just trying to keep pretty much anything I can, trying to breed it. And obviously, at some point we're going to run out, but hopefully by the end of that chain, I'm going to be able to breed them again. So yeah. What else we got? Yeah, let's go back a bit. If I can get my hands on levamisole hydrochloride in Australia. I've used that before. It's a awesome chemical. I think it comes in a lot of those general kind of cures that you can get. Yeah, that's a really good one. I think that's what they use for birds as well. So that stuff's really good. Yeah, get a bearded dragon. They're super sick. They're like little dogs because if you get them when they're really young, they're kind of like when you raise them up, they get so used to you and they get used to getting held and stuff like that. And they get really excited when you're coming in the room and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, a lot of people kind of like, I don't know if you guys agree, definitely let me know now below. But I feel like the reptiles and the aquariums kind of like go hand in hand with each other. I feel like a lot of people that keep aquariums also keep reptiles. I don't know if that's a lot of other people think that, but I feel like because they're both kind of really small domestic animals that they kind of go in. I feel like people get aquariums and then they'll get reptiles and it's like kind of a whole like chain, but I don't know. What are the things to keep shrimps? Shrimps are the best. I don't keep shrimps at the moment. What can I give you tips wise? Definitely don't keep them with angelfish. Acclimating. That's a huge thing I've noticed as well with keeping shrimp is to acclimate them properly. Use the drip acclimating. I definitely got to make a video on that. I haven't done that. Drip acclimate the shrimp into your aquarium because otherwise I've noticed that sometimes I've like gotten really expensive. I bought these like blue willy shrimp. They cost me like $15 each. And I put them, this is like when I was 15, I put them straight into my aquarium and they just passed away. And it was like the most annoying thing. And it happened as well once with some cherry shrimp when I was a lot younger. and it was like the most annoying thing. But then I started doing the drip acclimation stuff, and it completely stopped that stuff. So that's one tip I can give you if you are keeping shrimp, and I hope that helps you. Would I mix discus with angelfish? I think people do. I've definitely read like in forums and stuff, because at one point I wanted to use a big aquarium to do both of them, because I wanted to like keep both of those kinds of fish, because they're both like the like iconic kinds of freshwater fish. I think people can. I don't think I can give you much information on whether you should try it, because they're both like, obviously I wouldn't like for you to take my word for it and then buy really expensive discus and then have a problem with it. I heard I've heard people having trouble with it. It was like some kind of like weird rumor. I've never tried it, so I'm not going to like give you all the answers, but I think I've seen a lot of other people on YouTube doing it. So maybe have a look at them and maybe ask them and reach out to them, because they might be able to help you. But yeah. Who else were we got? Probably because they sell them in the same store. What else we got? Are you worried about coronavirus? No, I'm not at all. And yeah, what else we got here? Hey, do you have any tips for keeping platies? Yeah, so I was talking about that at the start of the video. People keeping discus with angelfish. So I think maybe look into their channels. They might be able to help you out. But yeah, let's have a look here. So yeah, keeping platies. So platies are pretty much the same as swordtails and all that kind of stuff. And they have the same kind of care, all that kind of stuff. The tips are going to be the exact same as the guppies and all that kind of stuff. I think platies are in some ways a little bit of a better beginner fish than guppies are, because I feel like they have a lot less issues and they're a lot less prone to getting sick. And I feel like that's the massive problem that people have with keeping guppies, is they get sick and then they have issues like that. So I definitely recommend them to beginners, because like over a lot of other people. What the heck? I have a lot of other people like keeping like guppies and then having the same issue like over and over again, which is the sickness. So that's my like tip, is just to medicate. Like that's the big thing which I was talking about before. So like I feel like I'm going around and around in circles, but like I really can't stress that enough. It's just like a big tip that I can give you. So obviously quarantine them when they come in, but like yeah. Varshal MVH Pets. Thank you so much for sending in like a little dono there. Thank you so much. I lost 99% of my guppies and had my Hillstream loach. I lost 99% of my guppies and my Hillstream loach in my planted Livebearer tank this morning, as I accidentally overdosed Flourish XL. Any tips on reducing stress for my 4 guppy fry who survived? Yeah, get them straight away into, if you can take that filter out of your aquarium, put it into like a separate tank or empty your tank and fill it up again. And then definitely dose it with this correct amount of cross your. Here we go. We're just a bit unstable, I think, here. What have we got? Okay, sweet. So yeah, put them in that tank. Make sure that they're all in there, and definitely use the filter that you had before. Don't wash it. Don't do anything to it. The filter's going to have all those bacteria that you want, and you're going to pretty much get straight into it. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Like, I mean, that's really sucky. A lot of people have problems with that. And like, yeah, I hope you can, yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I hope that sorts. Thank you so much for the dono. What do we got? What's internet speed? Ask my mum. The internet up in my room is pretty bad. I'm actually hotspotting. That's why it's pretty sucky. That's why it's like not great. So I'm looking to obviously up all this stuff with all the there's a lot of other things that we still have to get on the channel. So I'm trying to get like better equipment, all that kind of stuff. I'd really like to get into this live streaming stuff and do this every week for you guys, because I like doing it. It helps you guys out so much. But yeah, Aussie internet sucks though. Like, it's just not good. We had this whole NBN program, and like I was too young to know what was going on. But yeah, it just like sucks. So are you going to get newer fish? Of course. We're always going to get newer fish. We've got heaps of videos to make, heaps of stuff to keep breeding. And like I'd love to keep going. So like, yeah, if you guys want to, if there's anything specific that I can help you guys with, and you guys want to have like a video series of like those angelfish series that I did, please let me know. So yeah. What else we got? Yeah, we definitely need a mod to stop trolls, man. Yeah, it's so weird, but it doesn't bother me. It helps out the algorithm heaps with everyone commenting. So thanks for everyone commenting. No, I'm in Brisbane. Yeah, so I'm in Brisbane, not in Sydney. Do I have an outdoor pond? No, they're so hard to keep in Brisbane because of all the birds and all that kind of stuff. It's like, and also real estate. Mum definitely doesn't want. I sprung a couple more tanks on her, and I definitely really like to obviously get a couple of outdoor ponds because you can get such crazy growth on your little fry. So, yeah, like I definitely love to, but I can't. I can't get any more at the moment. Maybe when in 2 years or something, if I've moved out and we've got our own little fish crib going on, like a fish house, maybe then I can get a couple of ponds. But I definitely love to, like, there's so many things in this hobby that you guys can do. So I definitely love to do that at some point. But yeah, what else we got? You should get some exotic big fish. They get lots of views. Mate, I would, but I'm not interested in it. And to be honest, I'm like not even in this for the views. I just like helping you guys out. So, and like I genuinely like mean that. It's just I'm pretty lucky to have all you guys coming and watching my videos and liking them and enjoying them. So, yeah, like I mean, there's some cool videos you guys can watch, but like I feel like I don't have the resources to do that. And to be honest, I'm not too worried about the views as long as you guys are enjoying the videos and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it definitely starts. Like I mean, like as long as I can help you out, that's all I'm here for. So, yeah, I had one before which I couldn't answer. Yeah, Rumble's fish room. So you sprung me with a real. I have no clue how to say it. Paratrophus. Stupid, but I don't have any tips. Liam, my internet is hell good, but I live in Western Australia, and you're with Telstra. Yeah, so what else? This American YouTube. Yeah, there's heaps of people. Yeah, like lots of people have done that. I've seen like there's like all kinds of channels, and like I don't have a problem with it because like heaps of people like seeing them, and I'm sure heaps of people want to see like really cool big fish, which we're talking about. It's just not for me. Like because I want to make sure that every time I make videos, you guys are like you can see that I'm interested in it. That's why I've kind of like stopped keeping guppies as much. I'm keeping the endlers because I'm still interested in them, but I don't want like to be making videos to get views and kind of chasing the numbers and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I want to help you guys out like with what I'm doing, and just if you guys are enjoying it, then yeah. What do we got on here? Asian arowana allowed? No, not in Australia. No, we're talking about that last live stream. We're allowed Saratoga, but but we're not allowed Asian arowana. I'm lucky. You're lucky. I only have like 20 subs. Yeah, I am very lucky. Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. What's my next breeding adventure from Sheps? Man, I don't know. I think maybe the definitely the rainbow fish are on the line. Like they have to get done because I've got them. There was another one that the pistogramma series has to be done too. I'm trying to nail them all out and help you guys out as much as I can with those. So yeah, but like I feel like probably the epistogramma or the rainbow definitely have to come out at some point. But then after that, like I said before, maybe the Bozemanis or something like that. But yeah. Aquamate, are you ready to do a chat with us on the Aquamate experience? And yeah, like for sure. You got a DM the other week, and yeah, no, definitely we got to get on that. It's been a while since we chatted, so we definitely got to do that. What else? Do I keep snails? Yeah. If you go to any of my videos, and I'm pretty sure you'll see snails in the aquarium if you look really hard. I didn't want them, but I got them, and I don't really have a problem with them. I've made a couple of videos where you guys can go and watch them, and yeah, like you guys can go and have a look on the video. It's like a why snails bad or something like that, and I talk about like all the details of keeping snails and why I feel like they're good. But you guys can go and make your own opinion. I have them in my tanks, but I don't really have a problem with them. I just take them out when I get too many because they just help rotate that like poop pretty much, and they help out heaps. So yeah, what else we got? Do a live stream on Facebook of some of the fish pages. Maybe. I'm not good with Facebook. I've got like a very small Facebook page which is just there. If you guys want to check it out, there's also the group where I've made, and you guys, I think I see quite a lot of you guys going in, getting advice from each other when I can't keep a simple guppy tank. Yep. Like have a look at any of my tanks if you like them, then copy them. But I'm definitely not a pro scaper, and mainly the reason is the reason I don't like do that is because I like to keep really like easy to keep plants, and a lot of those massive cool scapes with like the huge HC Cuba carpets. A lot of those videos like and those aquascapes require CO2. And to be honest, like I can't be bothered spending money on CO2 and all that stuff. I feel like a lot of people can't be bothered with that too. So I pretty much just try and make the best kinds of videos possible in what I just do. So yeah, I'm like coming into the live stream. I think this is like the biggest live stream I've done. So yeah, it's really cool. I just brought guppies to make videos, but ended up in African cichlids at one point. Like for some reason, I don't know. Are there any lions in outback Australia? No, I don't think so. But maybe there is somewhere. Hi, can I put tiger barbs, gouramis, and tetras together? I'd say yes, but I'd keep in mind that the tiger barbs are going to be a little bit more nippy and aggressive. If you guys want to like comment too, to help out people, like on this specific question, that'd be really good. But I feel like the tiger barbs could get a bit nippy, and maybe because the gourami's got those huge long tails, they could have a go at them. But I don't think so. I don't really think so. That they would have a go at them. So yeah, I'd go for it. Like if you have problems, make sure that you've got a backup. So that like if say you've got like a friend or something that would take the tiger barbs if they were a problem. I know for sure the tetras and gourami would be fine together. It's just those tiger barbs could become a little bit of a catalyst in there. And yeah. Do I have flower horn? I don't have them, but yeah, you can definitely get them. Here we go. Yeah, what else we got? Do you have a favorite type of fish? Yeah, I've talked about this heaps. Yeah, I don't know, not really. I'm gonna end up. I think we've got a little. I'm gonna go for another couple of minutes, like 10 minutes. So if you guys want to answer or ask me more questions, I'll try and answer them as best as I can. But then we're going to wrap it up. I feel like because I talk so quick, I feel like I don't know how other people do this. A lot of people like live stream and they live stream for 2 hours. Man, I don't know. I feel like I'm just like going to the gym now and learning how to like live stream, but it's really hard on your voice. I found like last weekend I live streamed for I think a little bit over an hour and my voice was caning after it. So yeah, it's real. I feel like maybe I talk really quick compared to other people. I don't know. You guys have to let me know, but yeah. It's like pretty hard. HC Aqua. I feel like I've watched your videos before. I think so. Your videos were pretty cool if I remember, but guppies are the best fish for breeding profit. Yeah, I reckon. Or I feel like there's some of those little oddball ones you can get too, like the prey cocks have been really good too for breeding for profit. But the thing is, if you want to get a bigger yield, you're going to have to invest more. It's like the same as all kinds of economics. You're going to have to spend more to make more. So like if you want to spend more money on really expensive fish, you're going to be able to sell them for the same price pretty much. So that's just like the theory. That's pretty basic stuff. But yeah, like if you can get some really like crazy, like expensive guppies, those rare ones, or yeah, like you have complete control over the price you want to charge for them. So no, I'm not sick. Promise. What else? I want mud skippers. Yeah. I've actually seen them in the Brisbane River. You can get mud skippers from. I'm pretty sure you can't take them out of the wild habitat, but they're like so cool. I've watched other videos and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, when did I begin to gain an interest in fish? Megan asks. Nice little last name there, Megan. I gained my first interest in like when I was like, I think 13. I caught some, I think I've explained this before, but if you guys haven't heard it before, the story is I caught some, there's a creek literally that I can see right there out of the window, caught a couple of guppies, like really wild. They're not like natural guppies, they're not the cool kinds, they're the other ones. And pretty much got them. I put them in that little tub. Like I've got it at the moment. It's got some rainbow fish eggs in it. I put them in there. Probably killed them or something. But then I watched a bunch of probably like a heap of people's videos on YouTube. I got so inspired. I was like, yes, I'm gonna get guppies. My birthday was just around the corner, so I got a tank, got some guppies. I started keeping them. You know what? Next, like 2 months later, I had like 2 tanks. A couple months later, after that, I had 3 tanks, and then now I got like 7. So, like I had 7, then I got less, and now I got more. Yeah, but that's how it started. A couple weeks after I set up my tank, random snails are popping up. Are they good for my tank, or should I take them out? Maybe. I don't know what your snails look like. If they're the snails that I've got, then they'll be absolutely fine, and they'll probably be beneficial to you. But yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't take them out because, like I said before, sorry. Like I said before, they actually help a lot with the cycling of the nitrates and stuff like that in your aquarium. They help break down all the waste and all that kind of stuff. So it's really beneficial for you. So I would recommend maybe keeping them. There's I'm so bad with names lately. All the uni knowledge and all that kind of stuff's like crowding my head. Trying to think of there's like the cone shaped snails, and they go into the substrate and they sift it up. Maybe not them. They're not as great, but like well, like it depends too. Like they're also good for the turning up of the substrate, which I don't really need. But I'd keep them. Like I don't have a problem with them. Sometimes you can get some really cool ones and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What else we got? I don't know how many more questions we got. I hope this video kind of like these live streams always go a bit weird. I always start them with the topic, I talk about it, and then it just ends up being like this huge Q&A, which we do. I hope I helped you out today, and I feel like it's sometimes a little bit tricky to make these videos. Like I feel like I just throw a bunch of knowledge at you, and I don't know if it's making sense. I hope this helped you guys out. I'm still getting my head around how to do all these live streams and all that kind of stuff. I promise you guys that all I can do is to make these live streams better. I'm going to get some better equipment. I've already got my I've got on mic here. I got a bloody wasn't cheap. I got one of these mics, so I hope the audio is good. I'm looking at getting like one of those better cameras as well, and like maybe like making all this stuff cool instead of just my bedroom. But hey, you guys are seeing me at its like complete raw, like how it is. So yeah. What else we got? I don't think we've got much more. So thanks everyone for watching this. Thanks so much everyone for coming in and having a look and all that kind of stuff. Really helps out the channel, and I think we'll wrap it up here. So yeah, hope you guys learned something. I'm going to do another one of these probably next week, so I'll let you guys know on my whatever it is, the YouTube channel community page. If you guys want to have a look next week, please feel free to join. Maybe next week I'll have the better camera. Hopefully, if Australia doesn't get shut down from this unknown virus that I can't talk about. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, my name's Nick. If everyone wants to know, I feel like I don't say that enough in the videos. My name's Nick, and yeah, thank you for everyone for watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.